have a great hour of conversation between Damian and our great friend Ann, who did a wonderful radio show with Damian a few years ago when we were doing the first LP. And yeah, that's it really. Sit back, enjoy it, and I'll leave you to it.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks everyone. Damian, lovely to see you, and you've got your second solo record.
Actually, it's my third.
Sorry,
that's okay.
But you've confused me because your last one wasn't even proper solo. You was Invisible Monotone.
That's true, yeah.
So it's called Ann Scanlon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just tell us how it came about.
The title, originally?
Yeah, you can tell us that.
Okay, there was a book, I was reading this book by this Irish author, poet called Damian O'Neill. I think the book's called As If I Cared. It's like a biography of his life. And he mentions in the book that I think it was the early 90s, he had this peace and reconciliation organisation in the north, and he called it Ann Scanlon, which is the tree in Irish. I just thought, well, that's a lovely title. Maybe I could call my LP this, because it's kind of mellow and roots and growth and things like that. So I just thought it was a really, really nice title. And then coincidentally, our daughter Rosa was doing a photography degree, and she had taken pictures of these hawthorn trees in County Derry. And when I seen the pictures, they were beautiful prints. I thought, wow, there's my cover. I've got the title, there's the cover. That's it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so, because Derry is, of course, associated with the oak tree, but Rose's was a hawthorn tree.
Hawthorn tree.
Isn't that quite a spooky place?
Yes, apparently where she took the picture, it's apparently supposed to be a grave, like a burial place of a mythical Irish vampire under this tree, who's actually turned upside down, or for some reason, who's buried upside down in case he comes back to life.
Is that near Derry?
It's near Limavady, County Derry. Yeah.
Oh, right.
I think it was called Abertac, an actual vampire dwarf.
Okay. Right.
So I just thought, why not? I'll use that.
Okay, there are a few spooky things on the record,
There's silhouettes and ghosts and things as well on one. Just the title.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you said was that if Brexit had never happened, you might not have done this record.
So true. Yeah, I'm sure everybody out here feels what a disaster Brexit is, but especially if you're Irish, how dare they do that? Take us out of the European Union, because it really messes with the Good Friday Agreement and the right to be Irish or British. And you're taking out, most people in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, voted to stay in. So what happened to democracy there? It just made me so angry, and I guess it just made me more of maybe I was a sort of soft nationalist before, but it just made me even more determined. We should have a united Ireland sooner the better, to get rid of Britain altogether, because they're just messing up the whole peace process by this Brexit thing. So I just wanted to, and also the Irish Language Act wasn't, the UP were vetoing that, and that was making me angry as well. And I just wanted to express my Irishness more.
Yeah, and was that a reason for the title?
I think so, just deliberately, even though I don't speak Irish, I wanted to, it's my culture, it's part of me, it's my country. So it's me just saying I'm Irish, I'm proud of it.
Yeah, well, we'll come to quite a lot of that, I'm sure. But the other thing that you said was that if you'd listened to this for the first time, you'd have no clue that it was a punk rocker. You found your inner soul on this record.
Yeah, punk rocker finds his inner soul. I guess, again, because I'm 61, so you mellow over time and you have different influences, and because it's an instrumental record and I'm doing most of it myself, I didn't have a band, so, and this maybe just the music I was listening to, I just wanted to do something more laid back.
Okay, and you mentioned the instrumentals, because on the Monotones record, my favourite track was Angels into Connell Street.
Yeah.
And you like the other Mondrian Dream?
Yeah, Mondrian Dream.
So did you actually set out to write, was it meant to be an instrumental or was it a mixture?
It was a mixture, because some of the tracks actually were supposedly turned into songs, but my lyric writing days are over, I think. Seriously, it takes me so long to come up with really good lyrics. I thought, to hell with it. It's easier if I just keep it instrumental. Seriously, it's that easy. It's that simple.
Well, do you find those easy to write?
See, music, I never had any trouble coming up with music. Even during the Undertones days, I would usually come up with the music, and Mickey Bradley would come up with the lyrics. So we had a good collaboration that way. And occasionally I would write my own song with lyrics as well. But the music was my forte. Lyrics wasn't. So this is why this is an instrumental record.
Okay, well, I think we should have the first track.
We have the lovely Viv here.
Yes, that's a great opener thing.
It's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, it's called you say it.
Más o menos, which is Spanish for more or less.
Right, okay. And tell us about that beautiful guitar and bass on there.
Well, yeah, the whole song is evolves around the bass line, really. It's a really good bass hook. So, like a lot of my tracks, you come up with a hook first and then you build around it. It's very influenced by a French band called the Les Mignonnes, as you know, Steve. Steve's a big fan here. I don't know if anybody knows the Les Mignonnes. It's a duo, but they've got, mainly it's two people, but they've got a band, very 60s-esque, Serge Gainsbourg-esque kind of stuff. So I love them. I think that day I came up with a bass line, I just thought, today, Matthew, I'm going to be the Les Mignonnes. Came up with a bass line and just worked around it.
Well, it reminded me of there was a French musician called Pascal Comalard, and I loved one of his records in the 90s, and it had that kind of feel to me.
Cool.
Did you say you were going to get the guy from Lionel, is it,
Yeah.
to remix?
Lionel he's done a remix
okay.
of that. It's fantastic. I couldn't believe it. It was through Steve here. I got his email address, so I sent it to him, and he really liked it. So it took about 3 months, but he came back with this remix. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's really very. It's very like the Lemonianas, which is exactly what I thought he'd do. So it's amazing that even though I wrote it with them in mind, it's come back with their stamp on it. It's fantastic.
Okay,
Yeah.
you don't know what you'll do with it
I
yet?
don't know yet. We'll see.
Okay. Has French rock and roll been quite an influence on you?
It's not really. No, I mean obviously Serge Gainsbourg is a big influence. You know, we were talking earlier. You know, Melody Nelson record. That's the production in that, and that bass sound is kind of replicating certain melody. You know, the Melody Nelson. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah.
It was done in the late 60s. But yeah, not really. I wouldn't say totally French influenced.
Okay.
But just that
Well,
one track.
Yeah. But so the record has got a mixture of, there's a bit of that French, a bit
Yeah.
of Japanese, quite a lot of Irish, which we'll talk about.
Yeah. Japanese, a little bit. I mean, there's a guy, a solo artist called Nobukazu Takamura. He did this great record called Child's View, I think, in the early 2000s. And there was one particular track called Pendulum, and it's still one of my favourite tracks of all time. And I kind of stole some of the backing tracks from that for another track we're going to play later.
Which track was that?
It was La Tango.
Okay.
All
Alright, okay. So yeah, we will be playing the tracks, but in between, because you have so many bands, I'm just going to ask you a bit between the tracks about the different bands. So one of my favourite Undertone stories is that when you played Top of the Pops for the first time with Teenage Kicks, and I think what date was it? October the 20th?
October 79. I don't know the exact date.
26th of October.
There you go.
And in the story of the Undertones, Mickey says that his mum bought him pyjamas.
Actually, it was Billy. It was Billy.
Mickey first, then Billy.
Oh,
the
you're
two
right.
of them.
He mentions that in his book. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
because they're going to England, they're like going to hospital, they'll need new pyjamas.
Yeah. All true. All true.
Yeah, so Billy ended up with pairs from his aunties, and I wondered if you and John got pyjamas.
Oh, no. We were much too cool for that. No.
Okay, well,
It's not been the right France.
okay, but this is the story that I like. So you played on Top of the Pops, and the following night you played at the Rocking Chair on Waterloo Street
Yep.
in Derry. Now,
Yep.
the first time I went to Derry, I was taken to that bar,
Yeah.
and Mickey says in his great book, My Life as an Undertone, that there was an ad in that day's Derry Journal that read, The Undertones, last night Top of the Pops, tonight the Rocking Chair.
That's fantastic.
What do you remember about that?
Yeah, we because Top of the Pops was recorded on a Wednesday, I think, so we were due to play. It was transmitted on Thursday, so we played the Rocking Chair that night. So I just remember that there was a massive queue all the way down Waterloo Street, like all the way down to the bottom, hundreds of people. What really annoyed me though, there were so many people who like 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before were going, "These are shite," and now they're going, "Oh, get me in, D, get me in." Suddenly they're our best friends, you know, like right. So yeah, there was that.
But a homecoming.
Oh, it was amazing. It was packed to the gills, of course. It was great. It was a great night.
And
it was a great night.
Mickey said that his brother Martin, it was big enough occasion to get the Super 8 camera
He did.
out. So you see that
Yeah,
footage,
there is
which
footage.
is in the story of
It's in the Undertones, the Vinnie Cunningham documentary. Yeah.
So the other big thing about that advert that I love so much, so beneath the rocking chair bit, it had tomorrow, Saturday, bin men.
Yeah, the bin men.
Sunday, but bin men.
Yeah, the bin
So
men.
of course,
Remember that.
then I was fascinated to know who the bin men were. And I found this in the Derry Journal, where you get all your best stories.
All true, of course.
Yeah, there's a brilliant mural artist called Joe Campbell, who's actually done Elvis at the bottom of Waterloo Street, and I wondered if that was Elvis Wesley. But anyway, so I found this last year. Joe Campbell recalls being in the rocking chair the night of the Undertones' first appearance on Top of the Pops. The band in the rocking chair, the Bin Men, that night, Thursday night, stopped playing and watched the TV in the bar with the rest of us. When the song was over, the singer with the Bin Men, the late Jackie Boyd, turned to us and pointed out that a wee band from Derry had just played on one of the biggest stages in the world. We all stood up and clapped. We were that proud.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a lovely story.
Yes, I like that story. So let's have a Clash story, because
Okay.
the following year you're on tour for the first time
Yeah.
in America and you're with the Clash.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Okay, exactly, virtually a year before, I seen the Clash in the Ulster Hall, October 78, and then 1 year, 1 month to the day, we were supporting them in Minneapolis. You know, I mean, how incredible is that? It's like fairy tales do happen. We were there for 2 weeks doing the East Coast with the Clash, and they were probably at the pinnacle of their career, because they were just before London Calling record came out, so they were debuting all these amazing tracks like Wrong and Boyo, Guns of Brixton, London Calling, Armageddon Time, whatever, all those great songs that would appear on the record. We were watching them every night, and you know, we were learning so much. We were so professional, by the way, compared to us. They even had set lists. We didn't have set lists. We kept ourselves to ourselves. We were quite shy, so they were very gangster chic look, and they were very cool. But I just remember Joe Strummer particularly being really ultra friendly. He would always come over, say hello, and how's things, and you know, he was lovely, really nice.
And didn't you come home with a baseball bat?
That was, I came home with a baseball bat, which I got signed by the Clash. Clever me. Still have it. That's for the pension fund. Mickey Bradley, Mickey bought 6 baseball bats that first day in Minneapolis at Sears Roebuck's, whatever the store's called. Then he realised he has to bring all 6 all the way for the next 2 weeks in our little, station wagon car. So he was a bit pissed off. He should have bought it at the end of the tour instead of before.
Yeah, so just to finish the Clash story, then Joe, obviously, you know, he did really, well, he cared about loads of people, but didn't he try to do a gig in Derry then afterwards?
Yeah, that was before.
Oh, was it before?
Yeah, that was the summer of 70.
Right.
Sorry, 79. Summer 79. Yeah, we were going to have a festival called the Derry Dance. Bit corny kind of country and western sounding thing, and the Clash had agreed to play. This was in the Templemore Sports Complex, and we had the Damned on board and the Boys as well, and we were playing obviously. And then the Clash, Joe Strummer got a threatening letter from the Ulster, forget what, Red Hand Commandos or something, saying if you set foot in Londonderry, we will assassinate you. Basically, what had happened was Joe was pictured with a H-Block t-shirt on the enemy over 2 weeks before that, so he was automatically sort of targeted by loyalists. I mean, I've still got the copy of the letter. Actually, it's really badly. Oh, you
I
have?
wrote it down.
Yeah.
It was in Johnny Green, the Clash tour manager, his book.
Johnny Green, that's
And
right.
he said, dear enemy, if he sets foot on the free soil of loyal Ulster, the scum strummer will be shot dead and left like a rat in the gutter. and it was signed Red Hand Commando. So they went to Neil Spencer, who was the editor of NME, and he said it could be some nutter, but if it's not, you better get it checked out.
So Clash, obviously, they came to fair play to Joe and Mick. We were in London at the time recording, and they came to the studio to show us the letter and say, what should we do? They wanted our opinion.
Right.
And we couldn't tell them this is probably a hoax, because it was actually badly worded and written. It probably was a hoax, but we couldn't tell them that. So we said, look, it's up to you, but maybe you should take it serious. So they pulled out. And because they pulled out, the whole festival didn't happen.
Oh.
And because that didn't happen, they felt guilty. That's why they offered us the tour in America.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Very good. Do you think we should have another track? Thanks, Steve. That was Mallinghead Imminent. So
Try to say that when you're drunk.
after another glass of wine. So on the sleeve notes, you've written "Happy childhood memories at Sleeborn, County Donegal."
Yeah.
Is Sleeborn not on Mallinghead?
It is, yeah.
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 So tell us the story about that.
Well, when we were weighing, so, from 10, 11, about 4 years, we used to go, my mum and dad, we'd pack us all in a little wee car, van, whatever, and we'd go spend 2 weeks in Mallinghead, usually every first 2 weeks of August, and we stayed in this little wee green hut, we called it. It's basic essentials, I think it had running water, but it was plumbing maybe. Outside toilet, actually, remember. But when you're little, it's idyllic, and it was just amazing memories. So it was always, it's like a childhood memory that you love and cherish. And I thought it'd be nice to put it in the title, because it's kind of a very ethereal, nice tune, So I thought, it fits. It really fits.
Yeah, it's lovely, with lovely backing vocals from DJ. Viv. And and you've got a beautiful video to go with us.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
That was through Brian, actually. Mari Watterson did this amazing graphic video for it. I don't know if anybody knows Mari Watterson. Watterson's the famous folk royalty. I've never met her, actually. I'd love to meet her one day. But she did this amazing video for this track. It just goes so well. I give her all these ideas, like the holiday thing, playing football when we were there, and I gave her some things like going to the pub and drinking lemonade and eating crisps and stuff, but she didn't put that in, unfortunately. But it's a lovely, lovely video. It goes well with it.
Yeah,
It's actually, I think that's my favourite track of the record. There's two pivotal tracks, that one and La Tango, to me are the best things I've done on this record anyway, I think. And also, I think what really enhances this one is there's a great Derry drummer called Liam Bradley, who's drummed with Van Morrison, Sinead O'Connor, and the Chieftains, and he's this top-notch session player who actually was in my class at school back in the day. I didn't really know him then, but my friend Kevin Sharkey gave him this track, just unbeknownst to me, and Liam loved it and just decided to drum on it and sent me the results and just brought it up a level. Amazing.
Okay, and he did that in his studio?
He did it in his studio in Donegal.
Okay.
Which is kind of...
Yeah, where in Donegal?
Sorry, it's outside Redcastle.
Okay.
Near Moville.
Right, on that coast.
On that coast, on the loch. His house apparently is on the fall.
Near where John Hume lived.
Very close to where John Hume's.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay. And you also used to go on holiday to Buncrana, didn't you?
Well,
sometimes, or was that when you were older?
That was just day trips.
Oh, okay.
On a Sunday. Never. Well, we might have stayed there once or twice for a week or two, but usually it was either Bundoran or the wee house in Longhead.
Okay.
Wee greenhouse hut. Wee green hut.
So it's like lots of people from Derry used to get away to Donegal.
Oh, definitely. I mean, even lots of people from Belfast would go to Donegal. That's right, Brendan, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just this, especially during the Troubles.
Yeah.
You know, you'd flock to get away over the border, to get away from all the madness. You know, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. We were lucky. That's what's great about Derry, particularly, not Belfast, but Derry. We had the border on our doorstep. That's so important. You didn't feel trapped, whereas people in Belfast would have felt really trapped.
But did you feel a bit in between?
Well, I've always, not in between, I've always felt Irish. I never felt, well, obviously being born a Catholic, never felt British or, you know, any identity with being part of Britain. However, I love everything about British culture, you know, like music particularly. So I suppose we were a wee bit in between, you know.
Earlier we were talking about that band that we both really like, Fontaines DC.
Yeah.
And I'd read this interview where Philip King said, the condition of being Irish is the condition of being in between.
Right.
And they now talk about being in London. And
Yeah, because they moved over.
Yeah. So it's quite...
It's funny, they really... Actually, I got dogs abuse, and it was the Irish Times really criticising them for moving away, or how dare they or how dare they slag off Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil. You know, who do they think they are? Typical Irish Times comment, middle class twats.
And you can talk, Damian, seeing as you left at 21.
No, I did.
But as you say on the sleeve, you never really left.
I never really left, but then I had to get away. I never really felt part of Derry. I don't know, maybe because I was born in Belfast, actually. I don't know why. I just always wanted to move away. I knew I would, even when I was 13, 14. Honestly. And I don't regret it. I definitely don't regret that. So maybe I'll move back someday, but not yet.
To that green hut.
To the green hut. That's not there now.
Okay, well, I think, Viv, can we have a track that kind of goes with that? The third one. Thank you. Was Tune for the Derry Ones. I love that track, Damian. And lovely backing vocals there from Viv. So I heard heard you say that that you woke up from a dream and had that melody.
Yeah,
in your
that's
head.
true. Actually, it doesn't happen very often, and usually I fall asleep again and forget it next when I wake up properly in the morning. But that one occasion I actually made myself get up. I've got this little Tascam recorder, and I hummed the tune, so I had it.
That's good.
Kind of good. Well, it's not exactly like Keith Richards when he Satisfaction. He did the same thing. I mean, that would have been better.
Well, I think it's a lovely, haunting tune. And you, on the sleeve, you've dedicated that to two people.
Yeah.
One is John Clifford, who ran your football club, TriStar FC. And you say he kept many disorientated youths from getting into trouble. Obviously, you played football a lot when you were a kid.
I was a massive football fan.
And
or
you
football.
were a Chelsea fan,
I
aren't
was,
you?
yeah. Any boos out there? Yeah, I was a massive Chelsea fan. Me and my brother John, actually. But yeah, football was our main life at the time. We all played. All three brothers. My brother Jim wasn't into it actually, but so me, John and Vincent,
Okay.
and we lived near Bull Park. Bull Park was just stone throws away. So we'd spend all day, virtually all night, just playing football.
Okay.
It was amazing. We loved it.
Well, and were you Derry City?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, actually, that's another thing. Worst thing, but the troubles was Derry City. They banned Derry City from playing in the Northern Irish League in 1972, I think. And so for years we didn't have a football team to support, and that's devastating for a town the size of Derry. And it was only until the 90s, I think, that they came back again. So yeah, that was really, it makes a big impact if you don't have a football team to support, local football teams. It was terrible. But John Clifford was, he was like this kind of unpaid social worker or youth worker. He was so passionate about football, and he had like the under 11, under 12, 13, 14 teams, and I sort of started with the under 11s, and maybe I probably finished at the under 14s, but for 4 years I was playing for John for TriStar, and he was so dedicated, and unfortunately he passed away, but I really wanted to give my tribute to him on that track, just in the sleeve notes.
Yeah, and at which point did you realise that you weren't going to become a professional footballer?
When I couldn't see the blackboard anymore, and my eyesight started going. Didn't help. And then, of course, I got into music, and forget about the football.
Okay. Didn't you have someone give you come and talent scout you once?
Well, no, John Clifford actually said, no, he didn't. I wasn't that good. John Clifford did say, one day you're going to be playing for Arsenal. He was a big Arsenal fan. So it never happened. No.
Okay. And the other person
Yeah.
that you dedicated that track to is your niece?
Maeve O'Neill. She's my niece and goddaughter.
Whose daughter is she?
She's Jem, my
Okay.
eldest daughter.
Right.
Yeah, Maeve's amazing. She's probably 32 now. She's a counsellor for People Before Profit Party. She's just one of the most optimistic, bouncy, won't say no to anything kind of person. She's so inspirational. So I thought I really want to give her a shout out as well. For that.
She replaced Eamon McCann.
She did. Because Eamon retired because of ill health. Basically, he had to stand down, unfortunately. So Maeve and Eamon are really close, obviously. Eamon McCann's legendary, as you well know.
Yeah, and he's always been such a champion of the Undertones and lots of great bands. And in fact, in the story of the Undertones, he said some of the most brilliant
He does.
things.
He's got this greatest line. I think it's they make the most beautiful noise coming from the most ugliest of places. Something like that. Some incredible. I'm paraphrasing it, but I think it's something like that. Amazing quote.
And he also said, even though the Undertones were more affected by the hunger strike than any other contemporary band, it was out of character for them to be commenting, which is you, obviously.
It's
going to happen. And then he said, the Undertones are a really complicated musical and cultural phenomenon, a very complicated political phenomenon. So just tell us a bit about that particular track, because it went to 18 in the charts.
Yeah.
And you were on Top of the Pops again, and that happened to be the night that Bobby sang.
Yeah, and I, well, basically before we went on, we did rehearsals and all, and that was fine. Then we were about to go on do it properly, and I said to the others, let's all wear black in our bands, and we, because Bobby Sands has died. And they all went, yeah, no. So I went ahead anyway, and because the song originally was, everybody kind of knows now, it was originally, I wrote the original lyrics about the hunger strikes, and the chorus, we kept the chorus, it's going to happen all the time. But the verses were pretty awful. Another reason why I stopped writing lyrics. So Mickey changed it into just a normal kind of a pop song, really, the verses. They don't mean much, anything really. But anyway, it was just such a coincidence that we were on Top of the Pops the night he died. I thought, this is too good to not do something. So I wore the armband. But in a way, I'm kind of glad nobody noticed, because it would have caused a big hoo-ha, and it would have damaged the band's name and brand. And so, I'm kind of glad nobody. We didn't get banned. We didn't, BBC didn't even notice. So I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. Nobody. It didn't get us into trouble, because I was a bit selfish, I was just acting on my own. I shouldn't have done that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll have more on that when we talk about that petrol emotion. But just when the Undertones ended, you were living in London then, so how did you feel? You were in what, Twickenham or somewhere?
Yeah, well, I was actually in Highgate at the time. The Undertones broke up in '83, and I split up with my girlfriend, and that was traumatic enough. And I was kind of basically floundering for a while. I tried to get a band with Mickey Bradley for about a year, and it was pretty awful, actually, to be honest. It wasn't great.
Not the Wesleys.
No, the Wesleys was before that. That was during the Undertones. Yeah, that was fun. This thing with Mickey wasn't fun. It was dreadful. Anyway, don't want to talk about that. So I was floundering until '84.
And at which point did you almost join Dexy's Midnight Run?
No, again, that's a...
Is it a myth?
That's a myth.
Okay.
The quick one there is Kevin. Did get a phone call from Kevin Rowland out of the blue, which was a huge Dexys fan, and he invited me up to Birmingham. This was during the time they were recording Don't Stand Me Down album. So I went up there for a day, and him and Helen O'Hara were together at the time, and he basically, I think he well, still to this day, I still don't know why he brought me up there. But all I do know, he was questioning.
Maybe because you were wearing a black armband.
No, I wasn't. It was about Ireland. He was questioning me, firing me with loads of questions about the troubles in Ireland, your opinion of this and this and that, and he was wanting to trinket in information maybe from somebody who lived there. Maybe it was that. It was a really pleasant afternoon, evening. I stayed at his apartment that night, and then he dropped me off. Actually, before he dropped me off, he took me to the rehearsal studio, and I thought, maybe he's going to get me to play guitar now or something, but they went through a few songs with the band, and then he took me to the New Street station, Birmingham, and that was it. I did see him years later, and we're still, I've kind of lost touch, but I totally respect the guy, totally. He's incredible guy.
No, I agree with you, and what a great record.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
were listening to then. We'll have another track in a second, but at that time, then, did you not ever, when you split up with your girlfriend, did you not think of going back to Derry?
No, I did. I just sold my house, actually. I had a house in Derry. Only had it for a year, and I stupidly just got rid of it. And I spent whatever profit was like £1,000 on the rent, because then the wages ran out and the Undertones could be split up. So I was struggling, and my girlfriend wasn't working, and then she said bye. And it was tough. And then I ended up in Twickenham for a while, for about a year. And I was in the doldrums.
And did you ever go to John and Raymond's left thankfully.
No, never. I missed all that. That was all happening while I was in London, Twickenham.
Okay.
So that was all going on. I did hear about it, but I didn't see it. I wasn't there. No.
Okay. Well, can we have another track, please? Thank you. That was Latengo with lovely guitar solo.
Yeah, I know. I've always wanted to do a 2-minute guitar solo.
Tell us a bit about that track.
Again, probably just came up with a bass riff, I think, and then followed it on from there. There's a bit of, you can hear Jimi Hendrix there, obviously. Influence Gabor Szabo, Hungarian guitarist, on the guitar solo itself. There's melodica. I put melodica on. It's, like I said, it's probably my favourite. That and Mountainhead is my favourite, two pivotal tracks. I called it Latengo actually because 2 weeks before, or 2 days before, I remember seeing Yo Latengo, the band, the American band, and they were playing that venue called ERF up in Hoxton, whatever. And they were doing songs from their new record, which is There's a Riot Going On. I think it's called the LP. And it was just brilliant. I've never seen them before. I was just inspired and just came up with this, like a day or two there.
And some Albatross in there.
Definitely, sorry, I should have mentioned that. Albatross, the very first thing I ever learned was Albatross, Fleetwood Mac, on guitar. First thing I ever learned on guitar. I still love that. It gives me this chills when I hear that stuff. I love it. I love it.
So we need to talk about the petrels. Didn't realise time was going by so quickly. So after, we won't go through the story, but obviously that was a really exciting time in your life.
It was more fun than the Undertones, easily. The pedals, honestly, it was.
So now you've made me have to read my favourite quote from Raymond that he gave the Quieters. That petrol emotion was like the Undertones after discovering drugs, literature and politics, with more girls down the front.
Oh, definitely more girls down the front, yeah.
So,
but they were all looking at Steve Mac, not at the rest of us.
Sure?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there was some.
No, I could vouch for that.
Okay, well, there's a new 7
CD box set anthology. There's never been that Petrol Motion anthology ever, because we've been on so many different record labels. It's been impossible to license. So yeah, finally, Demon Records have put together this. Me and Raymond are involved as well. It's a fantastic box set. It's coming out. I think it's coming out. It's actually the same day as this on Cron.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Coincidentally. Yeah.
Right. And it's got great sleeve notes by John Harris.
By John Harris, the wonderful John Harris.
And when you were were you and Raymond listening to all the stuff? And
Well, we'd been doing listening parties online on Zoom
Okay.
for the last year during COVID actually, and that we played every album, and we had fans writing and typing in questions. So we kind of, it brought us back then, you know, and we're going, wow, this is great, that's not so good, blah, blah, blah. So it was kind of apt that then Damon came in with this offer to finally put it all together in one package. And yeah, it's brilliant. It's quite expensive, unfortunately. It's like, I think it's nearly £70.
it's not that bad for
It's not bad. For that kind of most of the quality, definitely worth it.
Okay, yes, I think it probably is worth it. You once said to me that someone had said that Sensitise should have been the Irish national anthem.
Absolutely. I still stand by that.
Yeah, well, it is criminal that,
Totally.
you know, that Petrol Emotion was such a fantastic
Yeah,
band.
I don't know. I just the gods weren't with us. But I mean, who cares? We made the records. That's the proof.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, it's easy for me to say that. Me and John was in the band for the first 3 albums. We had success, so I feel it's hard for the others, for everybody else, you know, because they didn't really achieve that success that we had. So it's more difficult for them, and I get that. I totally get that.
Okay, well, we'll have another track and then we'll have a quick Everlasting Yeah conversation. Thank you. Damian, that was.
I think it's pronounced Manon McLear.
Okay, I do love that. I can't resist a good Irish sea shanty. And it's about...
Oh yeah, there's a sea god called mythical Irish called Manon McLear. Underworld, underground, sea world. You know, son of the sea. I think it means in Irish. He, especially up near Derry, Loch Foyle. He's supposed to be this mythical creature who I don't know. There's by River Foyle. There's a placard with his name, and you know, it's buff about him, and that's where I got the title. I thought, oh, that's a great. I should call it this because the sea is like a sea shanty, and it's this mythical god.
I read that he uses the mist of invisibility to cloak the whereabouts of his home.
Oh.
But I also know that he had a run-in with the great Derry Saint Columkill and the Golden Chalice. But
That's another story.
That is for
Didn't know
another
that.
album. So we need to talk about the Everlasting Yeah.
Yeah.
So will we ever get another great album?
Well, we'll see. we did an album called Animal Horizon, and then since then we've done 3 tracks just before COVID. and then we got interrupted by COVID. So we've yet to do. I think the plan is hopefully we'll do one more track and put it out as an EP and see what happens. Unfortunately, we have some health issues with Kieran, particularly our drummer. He doesn't know if he can drum, so it remains to be seen.
Well, when you said that the Petrels was more fun than the Undertones, what about the Everlasting Yeah? Was that
Different. I mean, it was lovely playing again with my friends. I mean, we're all still really great friends, and it's basically like the Petrels without Steve. So that was, it really enjoyable. And I hope we get this. We do this one more track and get this EP out, because I think the new stuff was even better, personally, than the Anima Rising record.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, well, I'm speeding up now, so we'll have the last track, please. Thank you. That was New Loft Trio, the last track we're going to play this evening. Your bedroom in Beechwood Avenue was famously called The Pit.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to wonder, what does the pit look like? What does the loft look like?
Well, the loft is much more tidier than the pit ever was, believe me.
I think it must be like a Tom Waits song or something. Loads of instruments.
There's depends if we have to make room sometimes, but sometimes there's a whole vibraphone up there, which is quite a big space. Keyboard and then amps and guitars, but then I would put it away because also there's a sofa bed there, so if we have guests we have to clear everything out of into the storage so people can sleep and not trip over things. But yeah, that's where the loft was where I did most of this record. This particular track was started actually it was 2012, I think. Our daughter Rosa and me and Viv we'd go upstairs and mess about on instruments, and Rosa came up with this lovely little marimba riff, and then Viv enhanced it with vibes, and I started playing guitar. It was so good that I recorded it, and I always loved it, and I just sort of enhanced it, adding instruments. And Rosa also did this flute thing as well when she was 12, so I chopped that up and put the best bits and put it into the track. And it's just, I hope it expresses a kind of innocence and charm, and it just reminds me of those lovely days when she was just a child, and it was just, we were happy. We still are happy, but it was extra special, it was lovely.
Yeah, no, it is a lovely track, and there's more great tracks on the album. And you did an interview with your friend Steve from his Retrosonic podcast, and you said, this was on the Monotones record, and you said that you weren't going to revisit any old songs anymore, but you couldn't resist putting Cyan Explode on the end.
Yeah, well, again, that carries the theme, because in the original Monotones album, to the very end, there's a real, like a 30-second segment of me showing the undertones it's going to happen for the first time. So it's really in a different key and all, whatever. So I thought, in the end of this on Cron, I'll, because I've got loads of snippets from the undertones days. I've got just a sort of an old rough first time of demo, whatever, of me doing Silent Explode and me singing too. So yeah, it's the only voice, well, there is choral voices, of course, but it's the only lyrics on Cron.
Yeah.
It's from 1981 or something, whatever it is.
I know, I think it's a great ending to a great record. So, thank you, Damian.
Thank you, Anne.
Brian, and thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks to Anne and Damian. I put the records out, and the label Dimpetus actually started to put out Damian's second solo album. I'm very honoured to put out the new one, and it will be for sale over there 2 weeks in advance of being in the shops, and either Damian will come over or you can pursue him around the room. Okay, so thanks for coming. I think that was a great night.
Thank you very much.